Tim Tebow, Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback for the Florida Gators football team, gave the closing prayer at the National Prayer Breakfast today, sponsored by the family and attended by the president in Washington. Mr. Tebow is, of course, an outspoken Christian conservative. He and his mother will star in an ad that will air during the Super Bowl. It's an ad that's about their faith and about their position on abortion. The ad focuses on the decision by Mrs. Tebow to not get an abortion in contravention of doctors' orders after she contracted a serious illness and took potentially harmful medication early in pregnancy. Mrs. Tebow got very lucky. She survived the dangerous pregnancy, and the baby she bore grew up, of course, to be her famous son, Tim. The ad was produced, written, and paid for by Focus on the Family, a very conservative Christian group that campaigns against abortion and gay marriage and gay rights. Focus on the Family says they worked on the ad with CBS for months, saying, quote, "There were discussions about the specific wording of the spot. We've worked with CBS almost since the beginning." Now, CBS used to say they wouldn't accept advocacy ads during the Super Bowl. In 2004, the progressive political group MoveOn.org tried to air an ad during the Super Bowl that was critical of President George W. Bush and the war in Iraq. CBS said no to that ad. This year, apparently, they're okay with advocacy. At least they're okay with the advocacy of the Tim Tebow ad, the "Don't Listen to Your Doctor" ad. I just want to make one comment about the content of this ad as reported. Everyone, of course, is very glad for Mrs. Tebow that her choice to risk her life against a doctor's advice worked out so well for her and for her family. Honestly and sincerely, it's wonderful. But she and her son and Focus on the Family and CBS, in this ad, are encouraging other women to take similar risks. As one doctor who performs abortions told the Daily Beast this week, quote, "When people want to stay pregnant no matter what the risks, we hang in there with them and do whatever we can do for them. But it doesn't always turn out so well." This week, Planned Parenthood released a web ad in response to the Tebow ad. Planned Parenthood, of course, doesn't have the money to run it during the Super Bowl, so it won't be seen by zillions of people, but it is pretty powerful.
I'm Sean James. I'm a former college and professional football player.
I'm Al Joyner. I won the Olympic gold medal in the triple jump.
I love my family and I love sports.
And Super Bowl weekend is a perfect time to honor both sports and family.
There's a lot of talk leading up to the Super Bowl about an ad focused on sports and family. The ad features a great football player, Tim Tebow, and his loving mother discussing a difficult medical decision she made for her family. I respect and honor Mrs. Tebow's decision.
I want my daughter to live in a world where everyone's decisions are respected.
My mom showed me that women are strong and wise. She taught me that only women can make the best decisions about their health and their future.
My daughter will always be my little girl, but I'm proud every day as I watch her grow up to be her own person, a smart, confident young woman. I trust her to take care of herself.
We're working toward the day where every woman will be valued, where every woman's decision about her health and her family will be respected.
We celebrate families by supporting our mothers, by supporting our daughters, by trusting women.
Joining us now is Dave Zirin. He's a correspondent for The Nation, and he's the host of SiriusXM's Edge of Sports Radio. He's also author of Welcome to the Terror Dome, The Pain, Politics, and Promise of Sports. Dave Zirin, great to see you. Thank you for being here.
Great to see you too, Rachel. For this interview, I'd like you to refer to me, please, as Gene Robinson.
We think of you as Gene Robinson around the office. That's why we booked you tonight, Dave.
Thank you.
Well, let me get your reaction first to the Planned Parenthood response ad that we just played there. It's former NFL player Sean James, Olympic gold medalist Al Joyner. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a little bit too little too late. Planned Parenthood should be holding CBS's feet up to the fire right now and saying, if you are going to air an ad by Focus on the Family, if you're going to be using Tim Tebow, the doe-eyed, hunky Trojan horse for Focus on the Family, to enter our living rooms on Super Bowl Sunday, then we demand equal time.
Well, there is the issue of, I mean, inconsistency here. But if the networks were consistent, I mean, would you rather at the Super Bowl see the Tim Tebow anti-abortion ad, and a Planned Parenthood pro-choice ad, and the Move On ad, and something. I mean, would you rather see all of that stuff, or would you rather see none of it at the Super Bowl?
Well, let's talk about some of the ads at the Super Bowl if we could, because we can talk about there not being advocacy ads, but Super Bowl ads actually advocate a lot of things. Like women really like to hang out in bikinis around men who drink beer. That's an advocacy ad. Not to mention the fact that the Super Bowl is the #1 day for the Pentagon and the armed forces to get out there in all their glory. Let's remember David Petraeus flipped the coin last year at the Super Bowl. So if we're going to have this kind of advocacy, the pro-bikini or pro-armed forces advocacy, then I think, yeah, we should throw the doors open. And CBS has been profoundly contemptible, I would argue. I know President Obama said we needed to have more civility in our discourse, but hell no. This ad is ridiculous, and it should not be on Super Bowl Sunday without some sort of response.
Well, it does seem important to me that there's an admission that CBS was involved in the formation of the exact language in the ad. And I don't need to make too much of an ad that we've only heard reported and seen scripts of and we haven't actually seen the tape of yet. But wouldn't you think they'd be risk-averse enough that there'd be like a medical disclaimer or something on an ad that says essentially ignore doctor's advice?
Yeah, one would think so, and I don't know if CBS wants to rename itself or rebrand itself the conservative broadcasting system or what, but I have to think that somewhere Walter Cronkite and Edward R. Murrow are just looking at this and shaking their heads and saying, where has CBS gone that they're going to air a Focus on the Family ad that they co-wrote on Super Bowl Sunday?
In sports terms, Dave, Tim Tebow's future in the NFL is uncertain. It's one of the interesting things about his career. But if he makes it, will the NFL take kindly to the, eye black with the Bible verses and preaching at post-game briefings and some of the stuff that's made him such a popular national figure because of his Christian activism?
Look, first of all, if Tim Tebow doesn't make it in the NFL, it's because he can't break a pane glass window with a football, not because of any sort of censorship of his Christian views. I really think I have about as equal chance as Tim Tebow of starring as an NFL quarterback. And that's an unbiased view, just as a sports guy, I promise you. That being said, look, most NFL owners are roughly to the right of Attila the Hun. And Genghis Khan would look at NFL owners like, wow, you guys are crazy. So the idea that Tim Tebow would have any trouble is ridiculous. Organizations like Athletes in Action, Fellowship for Christian Athletes are in every NFL locker room. He would do just fine.
Dave Zirin, correspondent for The Nation, host of Edge of Sports Radio on satellite. Thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the Super Bowl bikini and anti-abortion ads this year.
Hey, go Saints. That's all I have to say.
Who dat?
Who dat?
Thanks, Dave.